Myself, I mean, I'll relate it to the gym too, but I won't use the weights. To me, it was very uncomfortable just to go in general. I had a lot of like thoughts of starting to go to the gym because I hadn't. When I first started going, I don't remember before that when was the last time I'd ever stepped inside a gym. And I think there was a big part of like intimidation or like fear of like being judged that, everybody's looking at you because you're like, oh, you're at the time I was like close to 300 pounds, right? So I'm like, I'm heavier set. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And so I was like, but I knew that if I wanted to get better, and obviously you can do stuff at home, right? I mean, you can do walks and runs.
Look at my wife.
Yeah, you could start there. But to me, what I wanted was the weightlifting, the benching, the stuff that I'm not going to spend the money to go buy machines for the house, right? So I was like, if I need to get uncomfortable, I need to be able to go to this place, this establishment. It's a business that's provided these luxuries for me to utilize. I need to step outside of my comfort zone to go and show up. All right, everybody, welcome to the round table here with another episode with Dustin.
What's going on, man?
Going on? It's going good, dude. We just caught up real quick, and
yes,
it's always I feel like we can talk for hours, man.
We really can, though.
It's a good combo. I feel like we just jump on the different tangents, and then
One of these times we'll just have to record an entire episode of us talking,
just yapping. People like, what the hell are they talking? Good luck trying to find where the fucking road's catching us.
Right.
We're like,
for real,
that way. Boom, boom, boom. But good weekend, man. It was fun.
Yeah. Sound like you had a good one.
I did, dude. It's been busy for sure, but busy's always good.
Yeah, it keeps your mind occupied.
Yeah. So, what about you guys, though? You guys been good?
Yeah.
Kids are good?
Gotta stop hurting myself, but other than that, we're good.
Yeah, stop banging yourself up.
Oh, I need to get over this back injury.
Those gym injuries, man, I told you, man, they're scary to me.
Oh, that one threw me through the ringer. That one took me pretty depressed the first time. Yesterday, I was like, all right, you're not doing this again. Well, you learned your lesson. You need to stop that shit.
It's so hard because you want to try like to push yourself, and then you're like, oh shit, I'm doing great, and then just one tiny thing that just decides to freaking go out, and you're like, bang.
Well, it's like, oh, this feels good in the moment. As soon as I put those plates away, I was like, nope, that was a bad idea. Yeah, that was a bad idea.
And the back's always, I feel like, the scariest. So you start like, well, no, I can't even sit down right without my back hurting.
Yeah, that's how it felt. Moving around helps a lot, though. That helped a lot. Having that second ruck has actually been really beneficial for the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Getting out, walking, and moving a lot more. But I'm like, I don't want to stop training hard. That shit sucks.
It makes you feel like you take a step back, but the walks do help.
They do.
I would say that, yeah, for sure.
They do.
I think with recovery in general, I feel like it's nice because you're exerting a little bit of energy, but it's like constant and just feels good. So,
well, by the end of the walk, ruck, whatever, it's, I can't feel that much of anything anymore, which is good. But then when you wake up in the morning, it's all back.
Yeah.
Wasn't too bad this morning, so hopefully I'm getting better already.
And I feel also, too, the rucks are like, well, I've told you this, it's just nice to get out.
Yeah.
By yourself. Like, I look forward to that time, man. I really do. Like, it's something that's so needed for me. And that day that I posted that video for the Instagram page, which, by the way, guys, if you're listening to this, follow us on our Instagram page at the Roundtable Pod LLC. But we'd appreciate it. But yeah, man, it was. I just got home and I was like, man, I just want to go take a walk. I just need to get out. And to me, it's so therapeutic, man. It's like that's as close as I can get. Is like instead of going up to the mountains and just taking a quick little hike. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, you got cars and shit like that, but it's just nice. It's just nice to just be in the emotions that you're feeling and then just feel everything. I don't know, man. I love it. I really do.
You know, I was actually, the wife and I were talking about that last night, and I was like, you know, I don't really think about myself a whole lot. Like, you know, when this goes way off tangent of what we're going to talk about today, but you know, it's like I don't really think about myself when it comes to a lot of things. It's something I'm working on because you need to consider yourself at times. And I'm like, you know, I leave and I'm thinking about you or thinking about what's going on with us or thinking about, you know, what we can do to improve or this or that. I'm like, I'm never like just in my own thoughts because my own thoughts don't come up for myself anymore. I'm like, so yeah, it was kind of interesting to put that together last night. We're talking about things and I'm like, you know, I don't really think about myself. I don't really think about I think about what I need to improve. That's the max of like me.
Right.
Like, where do I need to improve? What can I do to make situation better? What can I do to make life better? Kind of a thing. So,
but it's important though.
It is.
It's important to do that for yourself, man, because
it is.
We need that, you know.
It is.
And it's if it's something that's difficult for you, I mean, you can stretch your comfort zone, man. And
yes.
And
see, we're segue into today's comfort zone.
Got it from you.
There we go.
Now, man. So with that, what's the topic?
Comfort zone.
Comfort zones. And I think this is a wide range, right? I mean, you get to choose your comfort zones. There's different parts that you can have as comfort for yourself. So, you know, the reason I think that this was important, it's because there's a lot of things in your life, whether it be fitness or just relationship or even your business.
Yeah.
You have to be able to, I don't know if I want to use stretch or expand or completely destroy your comfort zone.
I think it really depends on what you want, what you're trying to grow into. You know, if you're just wanting to grow, you know, in the gym, you need to expand your comfort zone because you need to try new machines, try new workouts, try new regimens, try new, even new supplements. You need to expand. But if you're trying to build a business, I think you have to, and I don't have full knowledge on this yet. We're working on it, but I think you have to blow that comfort zone out of the water if you want to be the best, because you can't sit and be comfortable because those people don't make money per se.
No, that's
as much money, I guess.
That's a good way to look at it. Yeah, I mean, certain situations call for different reactions or different approaches to that said scenario. But yeah, man. So I guess let's start here. Why is it important to recognize those, what's in your comfort zone? So
I'm going to go back to, I mean, my comfort zone would be my family mainly. And that's not something I've expanded my comfort zone as much as I need to. You know, there are no more kids, no more. So I've expanded that comfort to be the four of us. The gym, you know, I would say I'm comfortable with what I do, but I push the uncomfortable at the gym to push more weight because it is uncomfortable to grab that. Oh shit. Getting a little intimidated by what you're grabbing, but no, you're never going to rise above if you don't push past that comfort level and go for that heavier weight or go for that extra rep or even throw another set in of something.
No, that's good. I think for myself, I mean, I'll relate it to the gym too, but I won't use the weights. To me, it was very uncomfortable just to go in general. I had a lot of like thoughts of starting to go to the gym because when I first started going, I don't remember before that when was the last time I'd ever stepped inside a gym. And I think there was a big part of like intimidation or like fear of like being judged that, you know, everybody's looking at you because you're like, oh, you're, you know, at the time I was like close to 300 pounds, right? So I'm like, I'm heavier set. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And so I was like, but I knew that if I wanted to get better, and obviously you can do stuff at home, right? I mean, you can do walks and runs.
Look at my wife.
Yeah, you could start there. But to me, what I wanted was the weightlifting, the benching, the stuff that I'm not going to spend the money to go buy machines for the house, right? So I was like, if I need to get uncomfortable, I need to be able to go to this place, this establishment that's a business that's provided these luxuries for me to utilize. I need to step outside of my comfort zone to go and show up and be okay to be somebody look at you weird because you're using this machine wrong or because you're doing this incorrectly. And for me, it took a long time. I mean, when I just started going, right? So it was kind of like, it's not like I was like, I want to go to the gym, and I sat on it for months and just never went. But it took me a long time to be like, who cares? Like, I just need to, I have a result that I want with this path. This gym will help me, but I need to expand my comfort zone or get out of it. That's where I related to, but it took a while to realize that I was intimidated by the gym, and it was like restricting me from not wanting to go.
Have you ever looked at some of the people that might have been in like the situation when they're bigger, but they're the ones showing up every day and putting in the work? Have you ever thought about like, I mean, I'm an awkward as hell person to talk to somebody anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, for me at the gym, we're all there for the same reason, to get better. And I'm not going to critique you, like, unless I know 100% you're doing something that's going to hurt you because I've done it. I might come up and say, hey, you know, I advised you this, you know, but I look at those people, especially when they are committed and they are showing up and it's daily and that you can tell they're putting the work in. I'm like, damn, I want to go up and tell them, be like, you're inspiring. Don't think a lot of people would take that very good from me just because I'm always been a slender person. But at the same point, I'm like, shit, you got more, especially coming from my wife and from you, like you got a long road ahead of you. You're already dedicated. I'm proud of you. Like, you're an inspiration. You know, you're stretching that comfort zone to the fucking max at that point.
Right.
Like,
no, I think those people, they really are inspiring because
they're proof.
You get to see the growth too.
Yeah.
Like, just them showing up. And it's odd. It's weird that you say that because I think when I first started going to the new gym that we go to, there was, let's just say that interaction happened between two people. Well, I wasn't involved, but it was like an awkward conversation at the very least. But I understood where the gentleman, the younger guy and the fitter guy was coming from. Like, his heart was there. His approach was
terrible.
But
which is why I don't approach people.
well, you know, like, you dig yourself a deeper grave, right?
Yep.
You're just like, and you're like, okay, this is not going. So it ended like that. They're like, okay, cool, like, and then just walked away. So, but I felt bad because I understood where he was coming from, right? And I don't want to be like, jump in the conversation, like, hey, by the way, you don't get it. Like, this is what he's trying to say. But I do respect those people because, one, I was there, but two, like you said, you could see that, like, discipline and habit start building over time, and whether the results come or not, the people, like, they're still willing to do that because I don't think anybody that's, whether you're older or, you know, and let's not even take it to, you're fat. Like, you could take it to, like, the really skinny people that, you know, don't feel comfortable with their body. I think a lot of people, you know, have parts of their self that they really don't like, right? And so even to those people that just show up, like, that's a stretch out of, like, your comfort. Like, you could be at home and playing video games or eating a tub of ice cream or just watching TV. Like, that would be more comfortable for most, right?
Yeah.
And so I it's mad respect. Like,
yeah, I mean,
all the way around.
that is true. It doesn't matter if you're the heaviest guy or the skinniest guy or the oldest guy, the youngest guy, I mean, if you're there to better yourself, you're stretching your comfort zone right then and there. And honestly, that spectrum, the fit people, yeah, it's like, yeah, I aspire to be like you, but at the end of the day, that guy that shows up every single day and puts the work in, whether he's curling 5 pounds or 25 pounders, if he's showing up and putting the work in, he's more inspiring than the jacked dude that looks like he can do 40 on curls, but
Well, I think too people need to remember that the people that are super jacked, it's not like they came out of their parent or their mom's womb and just were like these fucking chiseled people. Some of them maybe they have good genetics or whatever, but a lot of them
they still had to work hard.
If you truly have a conversation with them, oh, how long you been coming? Oh, I've been coming for 10 years.
Yeah.
15 years. Like, holy crap, dude, really? Yeah.
They had to stretch out of their comfort zone
day,
at some point.
2 a day. It is, the gym is just, people just need to just realize everybody's there, like you said, for the exact same reason. And that's either, not the same reason, but to get a result that they're looking for, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Lose weight, put on muscle, look good, just to build your self-confidence, build a discipline, whatever it is. Everybody's got different goals that they're wanting to achieve through the gym. But the one thing that we all have in common is most people are uncomfortable in those situations, whether they're uncomfortable pushing the extra weight, they're uncomfortable showing up to the gym, they're uncomfortable being around a bunch of people doing exercises that may look funny to others. They're uncomfortable trying new exercises, talking to new people, asking questions to a guy that's jacked and be like, hey, man, I don't know what I'm doing here. Are you willing to? That's the one thing I found, that most people, especially the people that are jacked, you ask them a question, they're more than happy to be like, oh, yeah, dude, I'll show you,
Yeah.
Most. Not all, but most. And so
I was going to say, out of all the people that I know, there's probably one guy that I could think right away that wouldn't take it very well. But, there's a few guys that I'll talk to a few of them here and there at the gym. And there's one guy, I'm sure if I asked him a question, he'd be like, yeah, that's why I've been doing, you can tell he's been doing it for years. And he'd be like, this is why I do what I do, talking to him, he's same thing, dealing with back injuries and stuff. So I've noticed he's changed what he's doing. But I'm like, okay, that makes sense when I talk to you a little bit more. But I'm sure if I said, hey, what do I got to do? He'd be like, oh, dude, this is what I do. Like, right. Most of them are, like you said, pretty good. They're pretty nice. Like, there's a handful of people. My wife absolutely despises this guy. But, he doesn't come from a good place, I guess. I think he does intentionally, but same thing, ends up being that he comes into your comfort zone of your space and takes like, hey, this is how you got to do your workout. And it's a little different than like, hey, can I noticed you, would you like some pointers? I don't know how to approach people very well.
It's hard.
And that's a comfort zone that I am going to work on breaking, because I struggle to talk to people, new people. I'm a very introvert, I think is the word here. I struggle to talk to new people. It doesn't matter if I'm at a party, like especially bigger parties and bigger crowds. Like I have a harder time talking to people because I'm just like, well, I'm going to stay right here in my little shell. So I'm working on breaking that comfort zone, and I've been doing it more and more, talking to a guy here and there, talking to somebody, even if it's through Instagram right now or something where I'm like, hey, your content, I enjoyed it, or this or that. Like I was talking to one of the girls we met last weekend, and she had posted like a home gym, like workout. And I'm like, I got to give you props. Like, I'm like, hey, but I'm like, I got to give you props. That at-home workout, much harder. Like, I personally struggle to work out at home. I can't say I couldn't do it because I've done it, but it's outside on the bike or, something like that. But I'm like, I couldn't do it. Like, when right. I probably could more now, but same thing. I don't want to invest a bunch of money. I like the gym culture overall. There's a lot of people. You can learn a lot by watching somebody too.
New exercises.
Yeah.
I'll pick up some
I mean,
stuff. I'll
yeah,
look at
me
something
and
like,
you-
damn, like that exercise looks legit. And so next time I'm in there, I'm like, I'm gonna try that.
Yeah, me and you were working out. Girl next to us doing a workout, and you're like, "What? Why do you use those? Why do you use those holds? Why do you use those handles?"
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And you know, she's like, "I just feel like I get more isolation, whatever." I don't remember exactly what she said, but I'm like, "Shit, I'll try it
Yeah.
next time." Now on one of my back days, I generally always try to do that, especially if it's available. I'm like, I might go do it. Like, and you can tell the difference. But it's that simple: watch, talk, get out of my comfort zone, and say hi to somebody. Just ask a simple question.
Mm-hmm.
Concept. The girl's shredded. Like,
Yeah.
she's shredded.
She messed me up when she was like, yeah, I've only been working out for like 6 months or some shit like that. Something super short. I don't remember the specific time. And I was like, what?
Yeah, her back's pretty freaking shredded already. Then
Dang.
I didn't hear that part, but her back's pretty shredded, and it's like, all right, I can stand to learn something from somebody.
Yeah.
You know, why not?
But it goes back to the comfort, right? You need to be able to expand your comfort zone. If you want to know something or somebody, or even get to know somebody, you have to be the one that's uncomfortable, right? And be like, hey, that question with the handles, right? I was like, oh, I just want to know. Like, I've seen a million people do it. I have no idea why.
Right.
Well, now's my opportunity. If I really want to know, I got to ask. And so, no, I think it's important to recognize those things, those things that are, I won't say restricting you, but that are holding you kind of in a box to say like, oh, I am this way, or I feel good here. And I think the reason I chose this topic is because I'm reading a book called The Comfort Crisis, and
I've heard of it.
I'm not all the way done. I'm only a couple chapters in, but the way he's starting to put things, how we're so conditioned today to stay in our comfort zone, is mind-boggling. And we know these things, right? We're not as active as we were when we were, back in the caveman days, I guess you could say. We're not as, we're not the same people that we were. Thank God, right? But also there are some things that we probably need to go back to. And he started talking about the rites of passages for a lot of different cultures. Not in America, but like tribes and stuff like that. And how notoriously what they would end up doing is they would, certain tribes have, to become a member of the community. And one of the tribes was, you need to go kill a lion. And I was like, this guy's like exaggerating, right? So I look up, this tribe. It's legit. Like, part of your to show that you are willing to lead a family or be part of the community that you're going to step up, you have to go kill a lion. And he starts talking about, it's not like you sneak up on the lion, like they call in the fight. They're like rattling so that the lion gets riled up and wants to confront them. And I say that to say this, like thinking of that, I was like, damn, like we don't have to do any of that type of stuff like nowadays, right?
No.
Thank God. Like, I don't want to fight a lion, but our lives are so simple now. And that's what he's like. Everything is based on comfort. Even our house right now that we're in, like, we're not the basement's kind of cold, but it's not we're outside in what is it? We're today like 20, 30 degree weather, and we're having to warm up and feel that uncomfortableness of being cold. And you don't even have to take it far back. I mean, even here in Utah, the pioneers, right? Like the things that they did, the way that they traveled, the way that a lot of people died during those times because they were like exposed to harsh conditions and they had to live a different way. And now we don't have to. Well, now we're in a house that's 73 degrees at all times. We can get up and go get we're hungry. Oh, let's just go to McDonald's, or let's just go upstairs and grab something out of our fridge. Like, those things aren't normal in a lot of, even today, in like certain cultures that are a lot more poverty. You can't just get up and go get a sandwich out of the fridge. Like, the way he explained it, I was like, that's true. Like, like the more we focus on what is making us super comfortable and how we can expand that to expand ourselves. Because if we just stay like in this, like if we just stayed in this house and did nothing, and we were okay, waking up, going to work, watching TV every single night.
Work's another huge place.
And staying home and not going out and building relationships with friends and doing nothing. That was our life. That's not the life that I would want to live.
No, there's people that do it.
And I did for a long time. But
there's people that live that life, they're so comfortable with what's going on, they refuse to change. They're comfortable with the way they look. They might hate every bit of it, but they're comfortable. They don't want to change. They're comfortable with how they eat because, changing and eating better is harder. The food still tastes the freaking same, if not better, in my opinion. Going to the gym's hard, so they don't want to go to the comfort. Going for a walk is, well, it looks cold outside. I don't want to go outside. And I can understand there's certain points, you don't want to take small children sometimes because they're harder, they complain, whatever. But at a certain point, they've got to start getting out of their comfort zone too and going out and doing things and playing, and that's a lot of it too. Right. One of the places that I've found that people get the most comfortable is work, though, because you start getting in that comfort zone and you start just doing your job. But the problem is you might get too comfortable where you start slacking off, and then they start slacking off. Not you do. They start slacking off because they're like, oh, they won't fire me. I do a good job. I do this. I do that, whatever. But at the end of the day, you're so comfortable that you assume they don't notice these things. Because I would bet most of your leaders live in an uncomfortable state of mind all the time. Between worrying about their employees, worrying about the money coming in and out, worrying about what the next move is, how to grow, how to expand, whatever, how to break their comfort zone, they're noticing the people that are getting complacent, right, or comfortable with what they do. And I try personally to continue to grow outside of that comfort every day. Whether it's I try a new way to polish something or weld it, or I do the drawings and stuff too, so now I've got to be uncomfortable and learn a new system or do this or do that. But it's that constant wanting to learn and grow that keeps pushing me outside of my little comfort zone there to just show up, do my job, and leave. Granted, I do show up, I do my job, and I leave. I'm still trying to learn something new every day, a new technique that maybe some guy or a new way to lay something out, whatever it might be. I'm still trying to learn something new every day.
So how do you address those? How do you expand those zones? And what mindset do you have to be able to do that?
You just want to grow. Like I don't want to be the same thing for 30, 40 years. That's not the way I want to live.
Right.
Like I could see running a company for that long, if not longer, but I can't see just doing the same day-to-day thing. I always want to do something different. Like I could never be an assembly line worker, ever. Put the same part in the same hole there's no way. No way. My personality would go insane doing that. Every job I've had, there's been a different element of no day's the same. That's the best. Even my sales job at the tire shop I worked at, every day was a different challenge because it wasn't just tires. It was I might be selling an engine one day, or I might be selling a transmission, I might be selling a rear end, I might be selling a lift kit, I might be selling wheels and tires, might just be selling a simple set of tires or a simple oil change. Great. The range is insane. So I'm not comfortable with, need an oil change, okay, need some tires, okay. Need your tires. No, I got to figure out how to sell this to them, how to figure out to explain it to them why you need this to make sense.
Well, I like to play devil's advocate here in our conversations because I feel like
we both do. It's a good part.
It initiates that good conversation, but you're going to hear probably a lot of people say like, well, your point where you're saying, you need to be wanting to grow and try something different, let's just put it in the work aspect. Well, I'm afraid to fail. I'm afraid to do that because what if I do it wrong, or what if I don't do it right?
Did you learn a lesson?
But how do people extract that? Because a lot of times, let's just put it in the work scenario, right? I think people are so afraid to make a mistake because they're either going to be viewed as incompetent or they're going to get in trouble. I don't know, depending on where you work. I don't know how your boss is or whatever.
Millions of dollars.
It depends on how big your mistake is. But how do you, I would tell somebody that the fear of failing at said thing that you're trying to expand on is the only way that you will know if you can actually do it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's just a risk that you must take. Like there is no other than saying, I got to do this. This is something I have to do. Like I can't give you more than that because I don't know what mindset you have to be in other than I got to do this. I have to try it because, okay, I guess if a job wise, you're going to make, and I'm putting this relative because every mistake is different, right? If you ruin a project that's, $20 million to the company, you're going to get fired. And
there's a really good chance.
I would hope that, your mistake, I would assume that at that point, your mistake was probably negligent or totally your fault. It was like you just totally blew past the protocol or something like that. I don't know. But say let's just put what we talked about last week where you have a project, you're working with other people. You're not going to go rogue and be like, I'm just going to do what I want to do. There's guidelines and things that they're telling you got to do. But what I'm referring to is like if there's room for improvement that won't affect, but you want to also test your skills. Like, I'm going to, I want to see how I can communicate with this person and see, how I can communicate that we need to get this done. And I usually don't step up and have these conversations, but I want to step into a leadership role. Have that conversation. Try that conversation with your boss or the vendor, whatever people do. But that's the only way you will ever know if you can do that function or that action that you're trying to do. But people are and then they get paralyzed. They're just like, oh, if I fail, and like
they get comfortable.
They get comfortable with it, yeah. And so the only thing I can say is just you have to do it. You there's no other way around it. Like,
yeah, I mean, to me, like I said, when I'm approached with a new, we'll do it in the aspect of being approached with a new project of some kind. Whether it's a new drawing program or a new this, like it's uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable to start using a new drawing program. We'll just start with that. But I could see the potential in the program. I knew I was going to fail at certain things. That was a given because there's so much to learn. When I've been doing the drawings and stuff for 3 or 4 years now. I think it's 4. I've been doing it for a while, and I am good at it. And I still make small mistakes here and there. But what I try to do is when I know those mistakes, I try to learn from them. I try to get out of that comfort, which was nice with the new program. I was getting pretty comfortable with the last one, which was probably why some mistakes were starting to happen. Mm-hmm. Same concept. You're so comfortable, you're just like, I don't need to look at the small details. That's generally where the problem lies that at least in what I do, that's where the small problem lies. You get comfortable and those small details start to become big problems. Because now maybe it's like there was one job that it was a lot of information wasn't matching. And so it caused some extra questions. And I'm like, okay, so now I was obviously really comfortable when I was doing that, not paying attention to what I was doing. So now, did it cost us money? No, not really. It cost us a little bit more questioning. Like we caught a lot of it before it became a big issue. But it's like, okay, moving forward, now I got to be more diligent. I got to get out of that comfort again and start working to make sure everything is exact in the way it needs to be. Which I like that kind of stuff. You know, most everything, you know, and for most of the mistakes, in my opinion, get out of your comfort zone and just go tell the damn person in charge. Like 99% of the time, unless you're continuously making the exact same mistake, most of the time they're going to be okay with it.
Right.
You know, because they realize humans make errors. They made them, we make them, it's fine. It's when you hide it, you lie about it, and you just straight up don't own up to it, that's when a lot of people start to have problems. But if you get out of that comfort and just go in and, you know, be truthful, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, I think people just need to realize that there's certain feelings they're going to get when trying to expand those comfort zones, the fear of failure, the negative talk, you know, the overanalyzing. Those things are normal. They're just part of the process of you being able to step outside of that. That if you're having those thoughts or if you're having those feelings and those emotions while you're trying to do something or thinking of doing something new, that means your comfort is expanding. Like it's in that, you're in that zone right now. You need to, that's something that you need to progress forward and try to get better at, because it's only going to benefit you in the long term. That's the easiest way. If you start seeing yourself talk about like, oh, like I won't be able to do this. This is hard. All this like negative self-talk, that's you trying to drop yourself back into a certain part of your comfort zone. You're trying to pull yourself back. It's your subconscious just being like, you don't really know. Like, you do something every day, you know, you wake up, you brush your teeth. You don't think twice about it. You just do it.
No.
But when you're, you know, I don't know. I mean, when I was a kid, I hated brushing my teeth, you know, but, you know, the more repetitive you do it, the more that you are willing to do it, it just becomes second nature. It'd be the same thing with anything that you do. And you have to continuously work at it. It's easy to fall back into bad habits, but the more you're able to attack it every single day, though, that comfort will get less and less and less relevant in that situation. You'll start expanding into a different zone.
You almost get to the point that you get comfortable being uncomfortable, which I've heard a lot of the goats say out there. You know, I'm pretty sure Andy Frisella said it. You know, I think a handful of them have actually said something along those lines, that you get to the point that you're comfortable being uncomfortable because you know that's where you want to grow. You know, 75 hard, towards the end of it, you feel pretty comfortable. I don't give a shit what the weather is. I'm going to go do it.
It's actually fun.
I was telling the barber when I went and got my beard cleaned up, and we were talking about it. You know, he follows me and he's like, you know, oh yeah, I see you doing that. And I was like, I've honestly wished for worse weather. He's like, really? Mm-hmm. Everybody that's like, wouldn't that have been better? No, I'm fine. Like, I wish there would have been worse weather. Really? Why is that? Because it's uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. It's hard. Mm-hmm. It's a different challenge. If it's snowing, the only people that are out on the road, the people that want to be.
It's what Goggins talks about, like taking souls. You're like, I know everybody's in their house right now. Just enjoy it, and I'm out here getting it.
Same with Andy Frisella. He talks about the same thing, that he's out there and he's like, man, this is great. And not only that, I mean, shit, when it's snowing and you're walking, it's peaceful as hell.
Yeah, because nobody's out there.
Just be smart. Put some freaking layers on. Go. What, you know? Yeah. But going out in the colder, windier, rainier, crappier weather, it was more exciting, more exhilarating. The few and far that we've had, it was more exhilarating. Just the bitter cold, that shit sucked, and still sucks. But you just got to get out and do it. It's not going to, I mean, you bundle up enough, it's not going to hurt you.
Yeah.
Wear the proper clothes, get out there, do your thing, and get it done. I mean,
people just look for excuses. That's the reality. You know, they'll look
But it's become more fun to be uncomfortable and doing the harder things than it has been to just, well, I guess I could go lay in bed.
Yeah.
You know, it's 6:00, it's dark. You know, I don't really want to. It's 8:00, it's dark. Yeah, it's rainy. Okay, go.
Yeah.
Like, what's it gonna hurt you? Are you gonna melt? Skin gonna burn off?
No, and then you hear about. I think it's also nice too to compare. Like Utah's bad. Like it could get bad, right? Certain days it gets, but it's not like below 30. Where I'm sure if I really wanted to look somebody up that's doing 75 hard in fucking Alaska or something, and they're out there.
I was gonna say there's a handful of people, and I don't know why I'm still in the Facebook group, but there's a handful of people that are like, it's -10, negative, it's 1, 2, 3 degrees, like it's cold, it's snowy, it's shitty, and they're still out there doing it. And I'm like, damn, I'm jealous. I want that because I know how difficult that can be. I know where it goes. I know where you go mentally to do that. Because there was some days it was snowing really hard and cold. And I'm like, well, and people are driving by like,
the hell's this guy doing?
What's he doing? Why has he got a backpack on? And why is he walking around the streets? Like, And that was another cool thing I noticed the other day too, is I have a pretty certain route, and I know you did too when you did yours for the most part. But you realize how day one it took you, oh man, this took me almost an hour to get done. By day whatever, you're like, shit, I need to walk farther.
I got to lap another one. Yeah, I know.
Dang it, I got to walk farther?
Yep.
I've noticed that a few times where I'm like, I guess I'm going to walk to the end of the street and back because I've made this route a lot faster.
Yep.
But you just realize that you go and you don't think. It's like my wife asked me, how was your walk? I was like, it was faster than I thought it was going to be. She's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I was done before I realized I was done.
Yep.
The last couple of days, I've just been go. And next thing I know, I'm like, oh man, I'm 38 minutes in. I guess I can start heading home.
Yep. That's definitely part of it. What we'll have to do, because you're off
Friday
next week, so we'll hit the 75 hard episode.
There's a couple of days got real close to almost not finishing, and I was like, oh shit,
I gotta do it.
Yeah,
we'll hit on it next week. That'll be our topic. But no, I think that's a way to kind of go back to it. When you think of what other people either have gone through or been through. I told you I use darkness, dog. Like, in the last episode we talked about this. Like, I go back.
That's most of my life.
I look at other people. I'm like, they got it worse than I can do. Like, people are in other states. People are doing harder things than I'm doing. So if you look at certain situations that you want to expand it, know that somebody that has the same story or worse story or whatever, the same abilities that you have, and they're pushing their comfort zone. And I don't say that to like compare yourself to somebody else, but sometimes you have to have something there that can drive you to drive that like comparison and say, okay, we're one and the same. And even with this, my only hope is that somebody can see this and be like, if he can do it, then I can do it.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm anything special or by any means of a guru or anything. I just want people to see, like, if I can do it, you guys can crush it. People are way more talented than I am, way more skilled than I am. So if they stretch outside their comfort zone, you'll kill it. Like in anything, 75 hard or whatever it might be, work. But you have to be able to utilize that strategy of, like, look at somebody else's scenario and be like, man, if they're out getting it, I got to get it. Like, mine isn't as bad as that. Let's get it. And I think some of the best, not literally some of the best videos that I have from 75 hard was raining. I did a live, I think, once. And it was like 1 or 2 people jumped on, but it was like pouring. And, friends that David ends up calling. He's like, hey, what the hell? What are you doing, dude? And I'm like, dude, I'm just enjoying it right now. I'm in heaven. Like, this is like the best. Like, I feel like a kid, man. I'm out here just getting it. And it's like nobody's out here. And when I was in Vegas right before the last 75 hard ended, I had to go to Vegas for a business trip. And the same thing. Like, it's just, we'll get into it. Remind me of that story next week because I want to tell you that one. But it's just, you have to be able to get outside of what everybody else thinks, what everybody else is doing. And if you need to compare yourself to somebody else's worst situation to get you to expand that, use that. That's what I use all the time. Like, you have to.
Yeah, I listen and idolize a lot of these, guys out here like Andy Frisella, Goggins, Milet, those guys out there. Because they've spent a lot of their life living outside of that comfort zone to get to where they are. I mean, you got Goggins who does insane runs, insane things. You got Ed Milet who's got, tons of... He works hard. He's an amazing speaker. I can't remember exactly what all he does.
Who?
But Ed Milet. I think he does a bunch of other stuff too, and then you look at Andy Frisella, who's gone so far out. He tells you his story. He's not afraid to tell you where he lived the first 10 years, how him and Chris made supplement superstores and all this stuff. He's not afraid to tell you because that was living outside of a comfort zone. And he's not afraid to say it. And he said it multiple times. I wouldn't be here if I stayed comfortable. Same with 75 Hard. It wouldn't exist if he stayed comfortable. Right. You start looking around and everything that we have, somebody decided to be uncomfortable to grow and expand it. Every store, every mom and pop shop, it doesn't matter. Coffee, all the way to new clothing lines, new whatever. Somebody decided to be uncomfortable with their life and make a big change.
Yeah, I think there's the 3 steps, right? You have to be able to set some sort of goal. You can start small to try to, let's just put it, if in the gym sense, if you just want to show up to the gym, set a small goal to just show up and do a 20-minute workout, 20-minute on the treadmill, whatever it is.
Set some goals, 3-4 days a week, 20 minutes, 30 minutes on the treadmill. You're going to start developing a habit of being uncomfortable at that place and start growing. You're going to start looking at people lifting weights and you're going to be like, I think I'm going to go try that now.
Exactly. And embrace it. Embrace the uncomfort, like the uncomfortableness, like that discomfort of showing up and doing the treadmill workout and embracing, hey, I did the treadmill for week 1, week 2. I'm going to embrace the discomfort of trying those weights, trying this exercise, trying this, whatever it might be. We're using the gym because I feel like that's the easiest.
It's the easiest,
and we do it. So, and then 3, like celebrate your progression, like celebrate that you're actually doing the work. Like you have to take sometimes a step back and say like, okay, like I'm actually doing this.
Right.
Like I keep going back to this freaking book, man. The Power of One More.
It's a good one.
Like, you have to show up one more day. Yeah. You have to show up one more day. And when I like that book, like I've gone back to it like multiple times throughout the days, throughout my weeks, months. It's such an empowering book when you actually apply what he's telling you, which is literally just look at every situation, just do one more. Tell your person that you love them one more time. And I use that because the way he speaks about his father is, like, it just hits you hard. But it, like, that is the truth. Like, just show up one more day to the gym and then take a step back a week, even that same day, and be like, I showed up for myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you have to take those moments to celebrate yourself because you're doing the action. And if you don't take that, what you'll end up doing is, what I've found for myself, if I don't celebrate those wins, you'll burn yourself out, and you will be like, I'm putting on all, you will just in work. But if you take a step back and you're like, okay, like I've been killing it, I'm crushing it, like I'm doing good. Now I'm gonna elevate it because you give yourself that celebration. Now you're like, I know I can expand a little bit more. Boom, you go to weights. Now you're adding weights. But you have to tell yourself, like, I'm killing it. I'm doing good.
You have to be careful with the celebrations, though. Let's make that clear.
Yeah, I mean,
you can celebrate, but you can't let that celebration go on for too long.
No, this isn't a fucking parade.
No.
You're not gonna.
You walk, you look at your gym pump. Fuck yeah,
bam.
I did great. Today was the day. Today was a good day. Celebrate it. Tomorrow's another day. You hit it hard again, if not harder.
Yep. You can't, because you can't live off your wins that you did yesterday for today.
It's like that guy that's 50-year-old. I won state champion when I was... Okay, nobody gives a shit.
Yeah,
what have you done
cares.
for the last 30 years of your life? Well, I worked at a factory. Okay, well, that wasn't that great.
Yeah, Goggin talks about that.
Yeah.
You can't speak about what you did yesterday. You got to speak about what you're doing today.
Yeah. They all do. They
And-
all do.
And so, yeah, it's the truth. But you still have to take the moment to celebrate and then move. Like, you can't celebrate for like forever and then be like, I did that 75 hard 10 years ago.
Yeah, I'm still a changed man. I haven't hit the gym in 5 of those years, but yeah, I'm still no.
It don't work out.
No.
It don't work that way.
No.
And so that's a good point, because people will take advantage of that celebration phase and say, well, I did it.
Like at the end of the week, maybe you're like, it was a good week. Maybe you go get something small but still healthy, a little bit extra treat for yourself. Cool. Well, guess what? Tomorrow we're, not a whole, I'm going to go eat like a
Cow.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out the best wording for that. Cow's great. I was
going to say something else, but
yeah, so was I, but I
not
decided not to. But yeah, you can't be like, well, I'm going to go eat like this and then eat like that for the whole weekend either.
Yeah.
Depending on what you're doing, yeah, maybe you go and you splurge a little bit more, but still try to make a good choice. Enjoy a little bit of what you're doing. I get that. I mean, we enjoy our lives all the time, but at the same time, we're still kicking butt. We're still doing our thing. We're still making sure that we're advancing. We're still trying to live outside of our comfort zone.
Well, also to be very clear, so people get this very clear, when I say embrace that or celebrate that, what I'm referring to is a simple acknowledgement to yourself.
Yeah.
I guess it goes back to self-talk of saying that you did a good job.
Yeah.
So if people hear that and say, like, let's just use the gym aspect, and you go to the gym, you're like, I earned a fucking cheeseburger or a milkshake. We've talked about this. You don't earn anything.
No.
Like, you don't deserve anything just because you did it. And like, I used to have that mindset when I was younger. Like, I'd go to the gym and work out for 2 hours with my buddies and be like, oh, let's go to Beto's. Fucking eat a carne asada fries and, oh, we earned that. We earned these 2,000. Well, it doesn't really work that way. Like, it doesn't. This isn't a carrot on a freaking stick, and you're like.
Yeah, you're not the donkey that caught the carrot.
So it doesn't work that way. So when I say, like, celebrate yourself, I'm literally talking about a self-talk to yourself and say, you showed up for today. You killed it. But also know that tomorrow when you wake up, you better have that same work ethic and bump it up a level, and then self-talk that. Because you can't show up one day and not show up at day 2 and be like, well, I showed up the day before. I'm proud. Like, it doesn't work that way.
No.
Never will. You'll never achieve anything that way. So
every time I walk in the gym, I'm proud of myself for showing up. Every time I finish the workout, I feel humbled that I showed up. But I don't say, well, now I did 7 days. Like, it's the same with like 75. Like, yeah, I'm finishing next Friday. Like,
just use that momentum.
But I'm not gonna go. There might be things I'm like, okay, I might have a candy here or there. I might have this here or there. But at the same point, it's like, I obviously don't need that stuff. I've gone so far without it, But I know what I can do. I know what I'm capable of. And I'm excited to do a second round, to do something a little bit different, to be a little bit more challenging or something.
You're going to get super tanned.
I probably will.
Summer will.
Or I'll be really red, one or the other.
I was looking at pictures of that because I did mine, the first one, during like summerish, and I was getting dark, man.
Yeah,
I was burnt. I was like, dang, dude, I'm like pale now, but it'll come back. But we'll be the same color here in a couple months.
Yeah, I wish. I don't go that dark. I can promise you that. Maybe with some help from a spray tan, but I mean, ultimately, yeah, I try to do everything I can to live outside of my comfort zone, and I try to expand it all the time, and I try to grow constantly. A lot of people will ask me, and I'm never done learning. I'm never done trying new things. I'm not, for the most part, I'm not afraid to try something new, like having a conversation with a couple of my coworkers and, we're going to do skydiving this year. That was one of our plans. I'm like, I'll bungee jump. They're talking about cold plunges and stuff. I said, shit, I'd be the first one in if there was one here. Like, I don't care how, like, yeah, it's kind of nerve-wracking, but at the same point, like, one, did I die? I don't know. We haven't determined that yet.
I told you we're doing
the airplane, so
we're doing the cold plunge for the family.
Yeah.
So be prepared.
I'm ready.
Get ready to get shocked. Then it was funny because I was literally thinking about that. Yeah, yesterday I was like, I'm gonna text Dustin. I'm like, hey, do you slow down? Are we doing this? Because it's coming up. Like the summer's coming, and that's the time to do it. So,
I mean, everybody's like, why would you do that? I said, what's the worst case? I die?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You can die awake in your sleep, so
Yeah.
I might as well die doing something cool if it happens that way.
I might as well go have fun and live outside of my comfort zone.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like I said, for the most part, I think about things in that respect. Can I die? Yeah. What's the worst case? I die? Okay.
You only live once.
Yeah. So
And,
maybe I'm really injured. I don't know.
And it's a controlled risk, right? It's not like
For the most part.
I think it's controlled.
We won't talk about.
People are doing it. I mean,
we won't talk more details because it might freak you out more. But you know,
we'll see.
At the same point, I'm like, these guys have gone through a lot of training. You know, I would say most of all the accidents you hear about are a massive malfunction that doesn't matter how good the person is, but you know, that's a risk that themselves and you are willing to take. I mean, it is what it is.
Yep, I want that. I'm seeking that uncomfortableness. So,
but it's like it's your goal with your wife this whole year to do 12 uncomfortable things at minimum this year.
Yep. So, yeah, it's
So this is a great one to do. So.
Yep. Well,
what's your challenge for the week for him?
The challenge, my challenge for everybody is just look at one thing in your life that you've been wanting to try, that you've been wanting to, they really put that fear in you, and do it. Do it for a week straight. Don't back down. Just stretch yourself as far as you can. So just find that one thing that you've been wanting to do, whether it be talking to somebody at the gym, talk to somebody new for a week, I would just leave it there. I think that's a challenge. I think people need to do better at connecting. I would leave it at that. If you're going to the gym, if you're going out, whatever, go out for 1 week straight and just say hi to somebody. Make somebody's day. That'd be my challenge.
I was just going to say the same thing. Do something uncomfortable. So guys, just do something uncomfortable. I like Ben's. Go talk to somebody new. And don't just say, hi, how are you? How's your day? Like, actually try to have a conversation.
Get to know them.
Yeah, try to have a conversation. Even if you talk about freaking beans in their cart, like Andy Frisella did. Like, try to make a genuine connection with people. That would be the same. So just do something uncomfortable, but do it for the whole week. Whether it's outdoor walks, talk to somebody new, hit the gym for the week. I mean, whatever it is, do something uncomfortable for the whole week. At the end of the week, if you're like, that really sucked, I mean, honestly, do it again. It'll get better.
Love it. Well,
thanks,
thank you guys. Yep. Love you. We'll talk to you on the next episode. See you guys.
Thank you.